Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third and final part of my big podcast about my Connecticut trip and marriage. Surprise marriage. This is going to talk about the rest of the days in Connecticut, including the marriage, how it went down, and then I'm going to give you an update on the tax situation because that's what everyone wants to know. Okay? All right. So, we pick up on Tuesday. Tuesday was our second full day there in Connecticut, and this was a day when basically Kat and I didn't know what we were going to do. Now, originally what we wanted to do this week was go to the zoo. It was one of the big things we wanted to do was go to the zoo together. Kat and I both love animals, and we wanted to do, Bearsley Zoo is in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's one of the big highlights of the state, in my opinion, because it's a decent zoo. It's a huge no, but it's nice for what it is. And it's nice to have a zoo in my backyard when I lived there. And so I definitely wanted to go when Kat was with me. But it was all going to hinge on weather. All right? And what happened was the weather schedule for the week was basically that it was going to be coolish most of the week. It was supposed to be like mid-50s Fahrenheit, so like 55 degrees, let's say, Fahrenheit. And cloudy some days, partly sunny some days, with some rain. Now, Tuesday morning, we were going to go to the zoo, and we were told, oh, it's going to rain, but later in the day, like 5, 6 p.m., it's going to start raining. It's going to be in the 50s all day long, so it should be a decent day for us if we wanted to go to the zoo. We wake up in the morning, we get the breakfast. As we told you, there was free breakfast at this hotel, so we got like 8:30 in the morning, we get the breakfast. It's 9 a.m. We walk outside, pouring fucking rain, 40 degrees. So not only did they get the weather completely wrong, they got the temperature wrong too. Like everything was different from what they had said it was going to be the night before. Not even fucking close. So we're walking out and we're like, we can't go to the zoo today. We're going to be soaked. We're going to be freezing. This will be a waste of time. Plus, because it's raining, half the animals probably won't even be out. So, all right, we're not going to do the zoo today. What are we going to do? Well, luckily, one of the nicest areas in that area of Connecticut to kind of do stuff is the Milford, Orange kind of shopping area where there's a lot to do. So that day we did a lot. I'm trying to remember specifically all the stuff we did. I think we went to 1 or 2 pet stores like Petco's and PetSmarts that were out there to just look at pets because we love looking at little pets and stuff. You know, played with the birds. There was one Petco where they had a room for birds and the bird cages were there, and it wasn't the glass where you can't interact with the birds. It was just open bars, so you could stick your fingers in, you could play with the birds, and there was a bunch of conure birds, I think they're called conures, and they were friendly as hell, and they were playing with us, and we were having fun with them. You know, it's always fun to go to a pet store, right? So we went to a few of those. We went up towards the Milford area. Someone just asked me, did you go to Smiles in Milford? We drove by it. Smiles is the old arcade I used to go to in Milford, Connecticut, where I used to play Street Fighter, such, for example, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Capcom vs. SNK 2, some Tekken. That's the kind of stuff I used to play there back in the day, which was the early 2000s. They closed in the early, like, 2010s, and now it's a Verizon store, a mattress store, and some kind of a food place, a to-go food place, and some kind of an outdoor, like, boating store, like sporting goods and boating. So we drove right by it a million times, and like, man, what a shame, because that place was awesome, and it fell right apart. No, someone asked, did we go to the Milford Green? Pretty much stayed on the Post Road, Boston Post Road, which is the main road through that area. We went to the mall, the local mall, which is the mall, Connecticut Post Mall that I used to go to. Now, I could have sworn, maybe I'm wrong, I could have sworn that the Connecticut Post Mall was owned by Westfield. Westfield is a company that owns a ton of the big malls in America. And our mall right out here is Westfield. They weren't. It was a different company that owned it now. And a lot of stuff had changed about the mall. Most notably, a lot of the big department stores were out of business. Sears and JCPenney. These are two of the stores that are like the biggest department stores in America. Things that at one time were some of the biggest, profitable companies in America. They're out of business. They don't even exist anymore. Like, god damn. A lot of places that I noticed used to be there weren't there anymore. And I'm trying to remember specifically what areas were and weren't there still. Like what store? We went to a few independent game stores. There were 2 of them out there. One was Game Exchange, the one that I've actually talked about in videos before. But another one was a new one. It was like Retro Games Plus or something like that. And that was kind of cool. That place had like not only old video games, but they had like action figures. They had He-Man and wrestling action figures from like the 80s and 90s in there that they were selling for like $1 each or something like that, all used figures. We did a lot of stuff. There's stores and stuff we went in. One of the places that we never heard of and was there, Boscov's. Has anyone ever heard of this place, Boscov's? They're basically a department store, but it's brand new because they took over wherever JCPenney had been in the mall. It was this new place called Boscov's. And Kat was doing some shopping in there a little bit for stuff. In particular, she all week, she was trying to find something to buy as a thank you gift for her friend who was house sitting for us, who was checking on a house every day. And we went to like 1,000,000 stores looking for something. But I'll talk more about that later. There's a Boscov's Bayou, says Cactus God. Okay, yeah. We had never heard of this place before, Boscov's. And it was an interesting store. It wasn't bad. It seemed like they had high-end stuff and cheap stuff. It all depended on what you were looking for. Clothing, but also housewares and stuff. They had a candy department. Pretty interesting. So in particular, I'm just trying to think if anything else stood out that day. It was basically a day we stayed in the Milford area. Milford, Orange. I drove Kat all the way up the Boston Post Road, almost into New Haven, Connecticut, showing her all the different restaurants and the different businesses and things out there that we wanted to check out. And in general, it was just kind of an impromptu day because we had not planned on doing that day, but because it was dreary and cold and rainy, it's what we ended up doing all day. What do we have for dinner? Where do you hear this? Cracker Barrel. Yeah, now I've never been to a Cracker Barrel in my life. I didn't even know they existed. Kat told me about them, and she says, I found a Cracker Barrel. And she hadn't been to one since she had been in high school, but she remembered liking the Cracker Barrel food. So I ended up getting fried chicken with like mac and cheese, and I don't remember some other sides. And she got meatloaf, some kind of homemade meatloaf that they had. So we ended up having it. And we're like, it was actually incredibly cheap compared to other food. It was like each entree was $10, but it was like a crazy amount of food, and it was good. It was terrible for you, but I never eat stuff like that. And we ate it. We're like, it was good, but it's not something I can eat at all the time. But it was interesting because I'd never been to a Cracker Barrel before. Kind of funny. What sucks is we didn't want, like, originally what I wanted to do when we went to that area. There used to be a wood-fired pizza place, and they had wood-fired pizzas. And also great Italian cuisine, out of business, closed. The whole building was empty. They didn't even do anything with it afterward, just empty. And I noticed that a lot when we were in Connecticut. A lot of places went out of business and closed. And honestly, I think it's a sign of that state it's on the way out. Like most people who live there, they only live there because there's something else nearby that they're like, oh, I work in New York, I live in Connecticut, I commute to New York. But like, house values have tanked and plummeted. The businesses are on the way out. It just doesn't seem like a good place to be. It just seems like it's a state that's on the way down. You know what I mean? A lot of empty places. So that was Tuesday. Not a super exciting day for us at all. We were in a situation where it was just an impromptu day. Wednesday was the wedding day. And the first thing we did is we did not on our wedding day want to be getting up at the crack of dawn. So we ended up sleeping in that day. And we said, let's go and get some food in the morning. And we went to this place called Chips. It's a diner style food, but they're well known for their pancakes, as well as many, many other things that they do. So we went there and Kat got a waffle. I told you she loves waffles, right? She got a waffle at Chips that actually said chips on the waffle. And I think she got some turkey bacon with it. And I got what did I get at Chips? I think I got a club sandwich. Yeah, it was a club sandwich. Turkey bacon, lettuce, tomato. Basic diner style food, okay? And we didn't get the pancakes. We didn't load up on pancakes for our wedding day. So then when we were done with that, we went to my parents' house and spent some time with my parents, a couple hours, hanging out with the cats. Cat loves cats, so she spent a lot of time with Sammy and those cats and stuff. And then basically on the wedding day, so here's the big wedding day to everyone on the internet. Phil scammed his viewers to pay for his wedding day. Wait till you hear about this elaborate wedding day. We sat at my parents' house for 2 hours just basically talking. Okay. Then we got dressed up. So I went to my parents' bedroom and I changed from my street clothes to my suit, slacks, tie, Button-down shirt, shoes, belt, all that. Brushed my hair. I had shaved the night before, by the way. I wasn't like this. I was clean shaven. No, not clean shaven here, but clean shaven around here for my wedding day. Then Kat went in there to get dressed up in her stuff, and oh my God, was she beautiful? So beautiful. I almost cried when I saw her. I was so happy. I was like, you look so amazing. Not to say she doesn't look amazing every day. That's one of the things she's good at. She's amazing at makeup, amazing at dressing up and looking nice, and I was blown away at how she looked. So as we're getting dressed, the guests start to arrive. Now, I'm not going to tell you who the guests were. Like I said, I'm not going to give you personal identity. Basically, some close relatives of mine and stuff. And so they start to arrive. And so I'm in my suit and tie already. I'm schmoozing with some of the guests. I'm trying to, entertain a little bit and schmoozing with them. Well, my parents also. My mom was trying to put her makeup on quickly and everything for this ceremony. So we basically took about an hour and a half to get ready for the ceremony. And then when Kat was ready to go, I went in the room, we got her, and we came out together as a couple for the first time, dressed up in our wedding attire. And then the last person to arrive was the Justice of the Peace, who was a friend of the family. Like I said, she's a friend of my dad's through political means. And we all got into the main front hallway of my parents' house, and everyone took pictures. Oh my God, everyone had 100 cameras. Snap, 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 snap. In fact, I got to ask my dad, can he send me some of these pictures? Because Kat and I want to get some of them made up to hang around the house and stuff. Because we had those pictures you guys saw on Instagram. That's all the pictures we got. We got the selfie. I got the picture of her in her dress and the picture of our rings together. And that's it. That's all we have. Everyone else took 100 pictures. And actually, one of the guests used their smartphone to film the whole ceremony. So we actually have a video of the whole thing. But yeah, so basically, the Justice of the Peace came in, and we all stood in the hallway. We were, standing there in the hallway next to each other, and everyone just watched us, filming or recording or taking pictures. And the Justice of the Peace said, repeat after me, and said the vows. I repeated the vows, took the ring, put it on Kat's hand, the wedding ring. And then Kat repeated after her the vows, took the ring, put the band on my finger. Now pronounce you man and wife. I do, kissed. And that was it. Everyone applauds. Amazing. The whole thing was 10 minutes, not even. All right, we're done. What are we doing now? Well, let's take pictures. Everyone take more pictures of the wedding. We do a couple more pictures. Everyone want their pictures. And after that, we're like, what time is it? We take a look. Damn, we're hungry. Let's fucking eat. So that's it. That was it. It was wedding ceremony, pictures. We're out of here. Let's go eat. So Kat and I did not want to wear our stuff over there to eat because we were nervous about getting, white dress, getting it dirty with Italian food, concern. So we changed back into basically our nicer street clothes. While a lot of the guests really, the only person who really wore a suit to this thing was my dad. Everyone else was kind of just wearing almost normal clothes anyway for the few of us that there were, because there's only 10 of us total. So we scoot over to the restaurant. And we go down, nice big table for all 10 of us. We sit down, and the cool thing about this restaurant, again, Italians work at it. Though even the waiter is Italian. He's like, hey, what do you want? The Italian, the way that they speak is not funny, but it's like unique and interesting how it flows, how they talk and everything. And he's getting us all drinks. He said, hey, what do you want? It's a special occasion. What do you want? And my mom says, well, let's get appetizers for the table. What do you have? He said, we got the perfect thing for you. We do it, the different courses of all of the appetizer is like a taste of Italy, little everything. We call it the schizzi. You want the schizzi for the table, the schizzi. And I was like, what the hell did he say? He says the schizzi. So apparently this is something known in Italian cuisine. A schizzi means that before you actually sit down to eat your entrees or your meal, they will bring you course after course of Italian appetizers. So they start bringing the schizzi out to the table. Fried zucchini, shrimp marinated in a garlic butter sauce, steamed mussels, stuffed clams, eggplant rollatini, which is when they take pieces of breaded eggplant and they roll it with cheese and sauce into these little rollatini things you cut up and eat. Calamari, classic Italian calamari, and some So regular bread for the table, bread and butter, and pizza pieces. So they just make like basic like pepperoni pizza, but they chop it into like small thin things you pick up and munch on, almost like an appetizer. So, and I probably forgot a few of them because there was like 10 different servings of food that came out. Oh yeah, I remember one. There was tomato slices with mozzarella slices. I forget what they even call that. So yeah, there's like 10 different things that came out and we ate, and it took, I'm not even exaggerating, probably about almost an hour to just go through the skizzy that came out, which was amazing. It was so fucking good. It was delicious. And then it was fun because some of the guests sat across from Kat and I, and we had some conversation. It was very nice. My parents sat next to me, so conversation there. And a friend of my dad's tells stories. He was telling a couple fun stories at the table and everything. We each got an entree. I got the veal parmesan, and Kat got the chicken parmesan. So we each had a parmesan dinner, and it was so funny because we're eating. First of all, everything tastes amazing. And Kat goes, the sauce. She goes, even the marinara sauce that they brought out for the skizzy, like you have fried calamari, you put it in marinara. She said, the marinara sauce is so robust, and it's full of flavor, and it's full of seasonings. I'm like, yeah, that's real Italian cooking. It's not, you go and they give you, this is marinara, and it's just basically tomato paste. You know, it actually has seasoning. It's slow cooked. It's imbued with the flavor over time. That's what the Italians are known for doing when they cook. And then, each one of our dinners came with a side of spaghetti with marinara. And she's eating the spaghetti. She goes, my God, the spaghetti tastes so good. It's the best spaghetti I've ever had. It's not just plain pasta. It's got flavor. Like, yeah, they cook it with olive oil and spices. They don't just fucking boil it and toss it in a little thing. You know what I mean? So, we ate all this, and basically after that, then it's time for the wedding cake. Now, here's the thing. Traditional wedding cakes are giant monstrosities. We knew we only had 10 guests. Ours was just a normal-sized cake, okay? My mom had wanted to get a traditional Italian cake. For those who don't know, traditional Italian cake is kind of weird compared to what you guys probably think cake is. It's layers of cake. That's a sponge-type cake that absorbs. And you have a layer of, say, frosting on top, cake, fruit, cake, pudding / custard, cake, more fruit, cake, and it's just like layer after layer of stuff. Some of them, they actually put liquor in. Like, they'll take rum and they'll soak a layer in the cake of rum. So you actually get an alcoholic, like liquor-y bite when you're eating that layer. The custard / pudding can be different flavors. It could be vanilla. It could be chocolate. I've seen other flavors as well, but that's usually the ones my parents get. Usually on the sides of the cake, they cover it with different things. You could do chopped nuts, like almonds. You could do shots, like chocolate shots. I've seen many different variations, and I've had this traditional Italian cake many times in my life because I live with Italians, so we always, whenever there's a family gathering, you get one of the Italian cakes, right? My mom wanted this cake. Kat does not like pudding / custard, but she loves fruit. And I told my mom, I said, I guarantee you if you get that, she's not going to like it. What you should do is get one with fruit in it. So I was very pleased. My mom listened to me. She got a cake that was just whipped cream cake, like there was some chocolate and vanilla with fruit, and it was strawberries and bananas. Okay? Pretty cool, huh? So it was a great cake. We each had a piece of cake. We didn't do the crazy, oh, it's a wedding, shove the cake in your fucking wife and husband's face. We didn't do that stupid shit. We just each had a piece of cake. It was really good. And then after that, we said goodnight to all the guests. I got a couple presents. I'll be honest. Yeah, a couple guests handed me a card. And said goodnight to everyone. And we drove back to our hotel and had a nice night together. All right, that's it for the wedding day. Very simple. So the whole wedding that Phil scammed his viewers to raise thousands of dollars for, we had a ceremony at my parents' house that cost nothing. And we went to a nice dinner that my parents paid for that was, at a local Italian restaurant. And that was the whole thing. So I'm sure that cost thousands of dollars. So I mean, these fucking idiots that say these conspiracy theories on the internet are so insanely stupid. So we went that night to post up pictures of the wedding. And I knew it. I said to Cass, you know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have a 50-50 split. You're going to have half the people are going to be shocked and happy, and half the people are going to be shocked and immediately just be toxic, disgusting, immoral people on our wedding post with nasty stuff about me being a bad person and I robbed money and all that, even though none of this is true and this whole trip's on my parents' behalf. This is what they're going to say, so just expect it. And that's exactly what fucking happened. I posted it up. It was 50-50. So, and some people are like, why does Phil spend time, editing posts and stuff? Because it's very simple. It is our wedding post, and that's something that probably in years we'll go back and look at. And we don't want nasty shit on there, So we did. I'm sure by now there is, because it was like 2 days. I would go back and check it and delete the nonsense. I'm sure by now it's flooded with the nonsense again. But at least for about a day or two, it was nice. And there was a nice viewer and reaction, positive reaction to it. And we appreciated that very much. Okay. We knew that people were going to say shit like that. That people were going to say that I lie and the money I had raised went towards the wedding when none of it, literally not a penny of it did. But that's how people are. Okay. So then, Thursday, we woke up and again decided not to get the early breakfast. We wanted to sleep in a little bit. We went to this diner. It's called the Bridgeport Diner. I've been there many times. I used to actually eat there with John Rambo a lot when we were doing filming and stuff. And Kat, it was funny. Kat orders pancakes because we hadn't had pancakes the whole trip yet. She likes pancakes and she likes fruit pancakes. So she orders banana pancakes. And order, you want short stack or full stack? I don't know how much it is. We got a little bit of money to spend for my parents, which is nice. Let's get a full stack of pancakes. This fucking thing comes out. I'm not even kidding, they're this big. They're the size of the plate. The biggest pancakes I've ever seen in my life. They must have put a fucking bunch of bananas in the pancakes because they're in the pancake, baked into the pancakes. The pancakes weighed like 20 pounds. It was insane. I think I got a tuna salad sandwich or something like this. Nothing too fun, okay? So we do that, and then we go to, by the way, here's the trolls in the stream chat. I don't know, guys. I don't know where the mods have gone. The mods were here before, but I'm not really seeing them anymore. I'm just going to fucking ignore it. I'm going to continue with my story. Apologies. If any mods are still here and want to actually help out, I'd appreciate it. I don't really see any mods here right now doing much, but they were here earlier doing a lot of work. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, I'm not going to moderate or nothing. I'm just going to fucking keep going. Okay, guys? All right, let's continue. Oh, the Whopper says I just got here. All right, thank you, the Whopper. Yeah, please keep an eye. There's a few trolls in the stream chat being dicks, okay? All right, Thursday. We wake up on Thursday morning. Oh, by the way, I should mention, the weather on our wedding day was beautiful. It was full sun and like 50, almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And we were like, man, if only today was the day we were going to the zoo, but today's our wedding day. Hopefully the weather holds. The weather held. The weather held very, very, very nicely. So we ended up, well, here's really what happened. We called my parents the next day in the morning to thank them very much. He's like, that was a beautiful wedding for what it was. It was so nice, we didn't want anything big. We knew we couldn't afford anything big, and you basically made our special day very special. And by the way, a couple of the wedding guests who I never expected this left us a couple $100, so we ended up making like $200, which was very nice wedding gifts from people. We weren't expecting to get anything. And we were like, this is nice, this is some money that we can spend while we're out here or whatever. And basically I had a nice conversation with my parents, all right? And they said, tonight, do what you're doing tonight. Come back, come to the house tonight, all right? Come back here tonight and we'll have a talk, okay? Okay, good, sounds good. So that day we went, first of all, like I said, we went to Bridgeport Flyer and had some food. Then we went to the zoo. And the zoo was fun, although it was a little annoying because the zoo was under construction. There's two major areas of Bearsley Zoo in Bridgeport that are a lot of fun. One of them is the petting zoo area or barnyard where you can see all kinds of stuff. They've got usually like cows, goats, a lot of goats, a petting zoo for goats, and usually porcupines, and a big area where there's like ducklings and ducks and things that walk around. You could feed them. The whole thing was closed for renovations. And they also were building a new spider monkey house, which sounded really fun. Kat and I, like I said, we like animals. We watch a lot of nature shows, and we've seen shows about spider monkeys. They were building it. It wasn't ready yet. Son of a bitch. But tons of fun stuff, including, different monkeys, birds, bison, some different kinds of wolves, owls, hawks and vultures, river otter. We saw river otter, which was really nice. There was a crane that was literally posing for us right in front of us to take pictures, which was really cool, strutting his stuff. And there's a lot of stuff. I put up a lot of pictures on my Instagram if you want to take a look. I did like 3 or 4 montages of some of the cool things we saw at the zoo. For me, the cutest thing was the agouti. And I say, what the hell is that? It's some kind of a rainforest ground-dwelling animal that kind of looks like a giant rodent. It kind of looks like a hybrid between a guinea pig or something else. And it's very odd looking because it has like long legs but a big butt and a rounded face. The thing is so cute. And it was fun. It was very friendly. It was coming up right to us. It was eating right in front of us and letting us take a ton of pictures. The agouti. Very, very nice. The sloths were asleep. Couldn't see the two-toed sloths because they were asleep. But it was a fun trip to the zoo. It was a fun trip. We spent about 2 to 2.5 hours at the zoo. And so then, giant koi fish, too. They have a big koi fish pond with ginormous koi fish because people overfeed them all the time, so they got huge. Then after that, we said, all right, let's go to the mall. Trumbull Mall. We had already been to Milford Mall. Let's go to Trumbull Mall. Trumbull, Connecticut, where I grew up as a teenager. I hung out there working. My job was there for 5 years. And in there was the local arcade where I played all the fighting games, including Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and stuff like that. It was like the hotbed where gamers would come to play games against each other. So it was fun. I'll be honest. Seeing the mall again, totally redesigned from the ground up. Like a ton of new shit was in there. They had like oh god, what? Not Cracker Barrel. Oh, they had a Cheesecake Factory. There was a Wahlburgers. It was the first time I'd ever seen a Wahlburgers place. That's the place where Mark Wahlberg and his brothers make hamburgers and stuff. And it was kind of funny because, sadly, I hate to say it, 50% of the people who knew that we had gotten married were very supportive and happy and wanted to keep seeing me post up stuff. 50% of the people were just being complete negative assholes and just being really scumbags to us and insulting us constantly. So, like, I post up a picture of Wahlburgers, and I'm like, yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen one of these. Anyone heard if it's any good? And some people are like, nah, it's overpriced, don't go there. And other people are like, you have money, you scam people, you're going to spend it on burgers. And it's like, I knew it. From then on, anything I posted for the rest of the trip was just going to be negative shit from assholes who just wanted to ruin our lives. So I was like, at this point, I'm not going to do too much more. Like, there's no point, right? So it was fun. We went through the whole mall, and Kat finally, I think she ended up getting after looking at 100 stores, ended up buying a gift card for her friend because we couldn't really find anything that she wanted to get her friend as a thank you gift. So we got her a gift card. And a few things here and there we did. I don't even particularly remember too many of them because that mall's so different now. It would have been nice if the arcade was still there. It's not. The whole place went out of business. It's just so very different. So there wasn't too much in the realm of, oh, here's from back in the day, this and that. It's not. Everything's completely changed. So we did the mall, and then we went to my parents' house. All right. And this probably was one of the nicest things because my parents and I just had a really honest talk about how everything's going. And basically my mom said to me a couple things, all right? And I'm not going to reveal every single thing that was said. I have a lot of things that I agree with and I disagree with my parents. We are very different people, very, very, very different people. If you met my parents, you'd be like, you're Phil's dad and mom. They're not like me. I became an individual very different from them over the years. A lot of independent attitudes and things that night and day in a lot of ways. Although in a lot of ways I'm similar. I'm a stubborn person. My mom is insanely stubborn. She believes that what she thinks is right and is wrong. My mom did not agree with me leaving Connecticut at all. She wanted me to stay in Connecticut my whole life. Even though I told her a million reasons why I didn't want to leave. I had to get out of there. I hated it and it was too expensive. Like a million reasons why I wanted to get out. She always wanted me, to stay with her. Well, with my parents, so that they could be close by or whatever. I told them a million times, then move with me. Move with me to a better place. Get out of the ghetto that you live in. You can't be there your whole life. You can't be in a situation where you go outside, you could get shot. But they don't listen. They don't listen. They're set in their ways, and they do what they want. So basically, it started off the conversation was that my mom wanted to pay for Kat and I to go on a honeymoon. All right. And there were no specific discussions about any of that. Like where would it be or whatever. But basically, I told my mom, I said, I appreciate that. That's amazing. And quite frankly, I doubt Kat and I will ever be able to go on a honeymoon together. Just being very honest. At this point, unless I get myself out of the financial rut I'm in, there was no way that I would be able to go. But I told her, I mean, being straight up honest with you, and this is Kat and I had talked about this previously, it's a no-go. We can't go on a honeymoon. I'm in a situation where I can't take time away from work. Already this week that I was away for be with my parents and for the wedding, already I had probably lost thousands of dollars that I would have made on the streams and the videos on YouTube. And that's money I need to pay my bills. And I'm not in a financially feasible situation where I could take time away from work in a significant amount of time anytime soon. We're talking years now, probably before I'll be in a better financial position where maybe I could do that. Number two, and I said this very honestly, and this involves you guys, okay? I said, I'll be honest with you, right now, I posted up pictures of the wedding yesterday, and I can already see the 50-50 split of the way that people have reacted. You got the 50% of the people who like what I do and love me and trust in me and believe that even though I needed all this help with taxes, that I did not come out here and spend my own money and spend money on this trip. And then you got the other half of the people who just hate my guts and literally now are saying so many nasty things about Kat and I on our wedding day. And this is what I live with. This is the dichotomy that I live with in my life, that I have staunch supporters and people who just hate my guts. And I said, now, can you imagine? Let's say even in a year's time, can you imagine if I tried to go on a honeymoon when I'm probably still in a financial position where I need help on streams, people to be supportive or whatever with, with their contributions and all of that. And all of a sudden, oh, by the way, even though you guys, you helped me out a lot with everything going on financially, I'm going to go on a vacation now. All expenses paid. Huh? That doesn't jive. And I honestly, I wouldn't feel in good faith. I wouldn't feel okay with going on a vacation with Kat, even if it was paid for, with the situation back home. Here's the thing. When I went to visit Connecticut to see my parents, this is an important trip. Number one, we don't know what's going to happen with their health. At any moment, one of them could go, and then I'll never see them again. So this was a very important trip to spend time with them. Number two, this was our wedding. This is an opportunity for Kat and I to get married in a situation that's better than what we would have done here for ourselves, and to have a little bit of a special day where we can remember this for the rest of our lives. And doing it there made my parents so happy that they were there for my wedding. Are you kidding me? Like I said, my mom's been waiting for me to get married her whole life. And now finally, thank God, before, she passes away, whenever that may be, knock on wood, hopefully not soon, I was there to be married and she saw it in person. Okay? She was so ecstatically happy. So, I told her straight up front. I said, not possible. Honeymoon can't. You can promise us this, and I probably will never be able to take it. Okay? But my financial situation. And basically I told her about everything that's been going on here over the last few weeks, how I'd been doing multiple marathon streams, how much money I had raised, and based off of what my tax guy had told me, here's what's left. And then, by the way, the tax guy is going to bill me this much for doing my taxes. He's going to bill me this much to try to get me on the payment plan. I basically gave her all the financials of everything. All right? And, sitting there having this honest conversation, my mom said, well, here's the deal. She's like, I need you to commit to a fact that you're going to do some life changes in the short term and the long term, because you can't keep going like this. She looked at me and she's like, you're happy, but I can tell that you're running yourself ragged. I can tell that you are working yourself to the bone, Kat as well. And, every time I call you or every time we talk on the weekends, you tell me about how the whole week is work. You never tell me that you get to spend time with Kat, because you don't, right? And this is not the life that you're going to be able to live for your whole life. She's like, what are you going to do, when you're 50, 60 years old? And you think people are going to still want to tune into your stream all day long? I mean, yeah, maybe I could still do like a part-time stream, but no, who's going to want to sit watching a 60-year-old guy play video games all day, right? In addition to that, you're killing yourself financially, because you have all these situations going on with the finances behind the scenes of everything. You're killing yourself to even make ends meet and pay your bills. How are you going to you can't. She's like, you've worked yourself to your limits. You can't keep going the way you're going. If you keep doing it, you're gonna have health problems. She says, look at us. Look at your father and me. We are at 60 years old and are having these health problems where we could go in any day. She's like, but you are in your 30s and you're telling us the stress and shit you're putting up with. And she even said to me, she says, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. She says, just understand that. You choose to do it. She's like, the work you're in, being a public persona, you choose to force yourself to justify to thousands of people. She says, you should have been able to come out here to Connecticut, have a nice week with your wife, get married, and go home and not have to do a special event when you go home to explain the situation and people, oh, they're scamming and these assholes being shitheads on top of you. She's like, none of that should happen. That's fucked up. That's a messed up life to have. And, you know, you're in a situation where you have to do, you know, why? Who are these kids who are making fun of you on the internet that now they can actually concretely negatively affect your business? What kind of a life is this that you live? I said, Mom, you're right, you know. This is a situation that when I started to get into it, 10 years ago, I never thought that this is where I would be. It was a hobby. It was a joke. I didn't know I would lose my office job. I didn't know that I would have to try to flip YouTube into a living and then YouTube would fall through a million times and all that. So essentially we had this very long and important conversation. Okay. And where it ended up was a few things. The first is I realized, guys, I can't do this forever. I know that. And by the way, don't worry. It doesn't mean I'm quitting doing this anytime soon. I love it. But I know realistically, how long can I do this? I can't do this forever. She has a point. What could I do? Maybe another 10 years? Top 15 tops? Would people care when I'm 50 years old playing fucking video games? You know what I mean? And not to say that I couldn't try to diversify and do other things with my streaming. But I certainly don't think that it's going to be something people are going to want to tune into when I'm an older dude. You know, it's a younger generation. You know, they're not going to want to see me doing that stuff when I'm older. So in reality, what she's basically saying is that I need to not quit what I do, but I do in the long term need to figure out what else am I going to do. And she's right. I agree with her after thinking about it. Being completely honest with everyone. What I need to kind of do is get myself to a financial situation where I don't have to work all day on stream. Maybe where I can do like, all right, my finances are in a situation where now I don't owe so much that I have to literally make a ridiculous amount of money to pay the minimum payments on everything. And so that way I can stream less and I can maybe go get a job that's an entry-level job that pays less than what I make streaming, but it won't matter because I won't owe all this debt to everyone and I won't need to make that much money anymore. You see what I mean? But that's not a short-term thing. There's no overnight fix to you owe less money to the world. You see what I mean? So this is something that's going to come in time where maybe, you know, again, maybe within 10 years, I can fix things financially behind the scenes where I'm not bleeding every month financially. And I can stream less and I can go get another job and balance my life with that. And not to say, again, I don't want to quit doing this. I will do this. As long as it's within my power, guys, I will stream and share my daily gameplay and just fun experiences and interactions with you guys as long as I can, as long as people care. But nothing's forever. Nothing lasts forever. And my mom's right. She's like, you know, you're going to be our age. How are you going to be fucking doing this at 60? Look at us. We could barely move. And you're going to be doing this at 60? You're out of your mind. And she's right. So basically, I think that's what it's going to be is in the next 10 years or so, once I finally get myself in a situation where financially it's not so bad, I'm going to look to get another job of some sort. And, you know, it's going to be work because I've been out of the job market for 10 years almost. And it's going to be probably another 10 years. You know what I mean? Before I can make those changes, but I'm going to have to. Okay? The other thing is, and my mom's absolutely right, she says, you just can't keep doing what you're doing anymore. Like, if you literally cannot pay your bills, something's got to give. So, as afraid as I am of if I don't pay a certain thing, I'll ruin my credit or whatever, right? At this point, there's no alternative. You know what I mean? Like, basically, Kat and I sat down this week and talked a lot. And we were like, if I can't pay these taxes and we have to sell the house, what happens? Well, number one, we have to get another place, and my credit's not good. It's not. My credit's bad because I have so much outstanding debt. I doubt I would even qualify for a background check or whatever to get an apartment, or I definitely can't buy another house. No one's going to finance a mortgage for me. So it would have to be renting, and I don't even know if I would pass the renter's pack because my credit sucks. Okay? Feasibly, how would I move? I don't have money for it. I don't have money to move my stuff. I don't have time. I have to work my ass off to make minimum payments on everything. How am I going to have time to move? You know, that's a lot of work. Finding a real estate agent, renovating the house so it's ready for sale, selling all the shit in the house. I have no time to do any of it. Cat's working too. We don't have time, okay? So the reality of it is this. The reality of it is this. I have to make concrete changes that will ruin my credit in order to save the situation. I cannot leave this house, period. This house is where I work. This house is where the business is that makes me money. And this is the primary concern, is keeping this house, because if I lose this house, okay, then that means that I can't work, okay? I might not be able to get the internet I need to stream every day. I might not be able to do the work that I do in an office setting that's this quality, okay? So it's just simple. As of now, my primary focus is this house and paying this mortgage and keeping the electricity and all that on. And whether that means that my credit gets permanently destroyed because I'm not paying the mortgage in Connecticut, or I'm not paying credit cards, or whatever it may be, so be it, because this is the important thing. And eventually what's going to happen, depending on what happens, how much I can afford and the like, is probably eventually that condo that I have in Connecticut that's a money pit that I can't get rid of and I can't rent and I can't sell, they're going to get foreclosed. They're going to foreclose on it and take it out of my name. And that's going to be a tremendous financial burden off of me. It's going to be at the expense of my credit. But at this point, I don't see another way out. The other thing with the credit cards is I know that with certain credit card companies, you can call and negotiate and say, listen, I'm in a bad financial position right now. I'm just in dire straits. I have a ridiculous amount of back taxes I owe the federal government and that I can't pay them. So obviously I can't pay you anymore, because if I don't pay the back taxes, they're just going to start taking my money, and you're going to get nothing. So what I need to do is negotiate with these credit card companies and say, I can pay half of what you actually want, but you have to lower my interest rates to make that affordable, so that the card doesn't just keep racking up and never get paid down. So basically, I have to do all this stuff. I have to abandon a property in Connecticut. I have to negotiate with credit card companies, and this is going to permanently fuck my credit up. Like, I know, because I used to work for a finance company, Wells Fargo, where we would try to give mortgages and refinances, and if you had foreclosure on someone's credit report, you can't even talk to them for like 10 years. After 10 years, maybe we'll consider talking to you again. You got foreclosure, can't talk to you, okay? And I don't know if I negotiate with credit card companies, I don't know if they're going to report that on my credit report as, oh, he's not paying, or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's defaulting on the minimum payments or whatever. Because they might say on paper, okay, we won't harass you if you pay this much. That doesn't mean they're not going to report that to the credit agency as he's not paying the minimum expected of him. Okay? So at this point, that's really what I have to do. And I committed to my mother that I'm doing it. I said, I will commit to you, Mom, that I'm going to do this, because you're right. There's no way to pay everything anymore. And, you know, I have a wife. We have a life together. You know what I mean? And we have to make these changes, because we can't keep going this way until something goes wrong. I was so afraid this year of losing my house, because I thought I'm going to have to sell my house to pay my taxes. I realized I can't sell my house. If I sell my house, I can't work. This is the place I have to keep. Everything else goes to shit. This is the place I have to fucking keep. Okay? So, after this this was hours. This conversation was hours. All right? After this long conversation with my parents, finally, basically my mom said, well, since you can't go on the honeymoon, how much do you need to get on this payment plan for these taxes and basically not get completely screwed over? I told her. She gave me the money. So, essentially, the reason that right now I'm going to be able to get on a payment plan is because you guys supported the shit out of me for the past month with these marathons, combined with the money that my mom was able to afford. Now, here's the thing. This money came with conditions. She says, your dad and I are old. We can't work anymore. She said, we got to retire. This is it. We can't do anything else. We can't help you if this happens again. So you have to commit to doing what you're saying you're going to do, because if you don't, we have nothing else. This is it. This is the end of it, This is the end all be all. So the situation is, she gave me enough money to qualify for the payment plan. Now, she didn't pay the taxes. Fuck no. She doesn't have enough money to pay $17,000 in back taxes. She gave me enough money that combined with what she gave me, combined with what you guys gave me, all right, is enough to now pay the government, and my tax attorney will work with the government to qualify for the payment plan. All right? So, essentially, I am still going to have to try to make a lot of money because I'm going to have an additional new payment coming out of nowhere now. I don't even know what it's going to be. I was assuming probably $500 to $1,000 a month, but it depends on what the terms they give me for this payment plan. And what I'm going to have to do is, like I said, number one, dump the condo in Connecticut. Just don't pay it anymore till they foreclose. That's money in my pocket. And number two, make negotiations with all my credit card companies to pay like half. Because if I could pay half of what I'm paying now, that's a lot of money in my pocket. And between those two, I should be making enough to not only pay all my bills that I absolutely need to pay to keep the business going and keep this house, but also enough to pay my taxes. All right? That's the deal, everybody. That's what's going on. So the good news is this house is not at risk right now anymore because of the changes that I'm going to make and the fact that both you guys and my mom helped me out. We're out of the water for the short term. Long term, who fucking knows what's going to happen? Because it seems like every time I get to this situation and something's going right, something creeps the fuck up out of the under the rug, or crawls out of the toilet, or shoots out of a monkey's ass at me and hits me. I mean, so many things have happened over the years with bullshit, and it's terrible, the stuff that's happened. But you know, it's very simple. It has to happen. You know what I mean? It has to happen. So that's what I'm doing. And that has to start this week. You know, as early as this week, I'm going to contact my mortgage company for that condo in Connecticut and tell them that's it. You know, 2 years ago, I tried to short sell my condo in Connecticut and they denied me. Say, it's your fault. I gave you a chance. 2 years ago, I told you I was serious. I didn't have money for this stuff. You denied me, and now here we are 2 years later, and I owe $17,000 in back taxes that I didn't pay, so you're fucked. You're not getting any more money from me. So you can either just foreclose now and get the property immediately so you could sell it again and make money, or you could take 2 years and waste your time, but either way, I'm not paying you any more money. So I got to do that this week at some point. And, you know, my mom talked a lot of sense into me. I agree with her. And it's just something that inevitably what I'm hoping to happen here is let's say within 10 years, it has to be a 10-year transition. My credit gets ruined, but because I'm not paying the crazy credit card payments anymore. I'm not paying for this black hole condo in Connecticut. That money goes towards taxes and pays my basic bills. And now things finally start to go down to the point where, let's say in 10 years, now I don't have to do full-time streaming anymore, and I could go look for a job, and I could balance that with the streaming until eventually we phase out and I'm in a position where I'm healthy and I'm not overworking myself. That's the plan. I don't know how it's going to go. You know, I'm sure there's going to be more ups and downs along the way, but that's the plan. This trip to Connecticut was literally, in more ways than just the marriage, was a life-changing experience for me. Okay? All right. So, boom. That was Thursday. We went back home, Kat and I. We slept probably the best sleep we've had in a long time because we realized, at least for the short term, we were okay. Friday, we woke up. We got the breakfast down in the hotel, the final breakfast. She got waffles and everything. Jumped in the car and drove to my parents' house. Actually, on the way to my parents' house, we went to Petco one last time because Kat really liked those condor birds we played with. We played with them again. Then we went to my parents' house and spent a little bit of time there. My dad and I drove to the car dealership, dropped off the car. My dad tried as hard as he could not to punch the guy in the face for charging him for the insurance, the car insurance, even though we didn't need to legally get it, and he told me we did. And went back home, spent a little bit more time with my parents, said our goodbyes. Our ride arrived and picked us up around 1 p.m., drove us to the airport in New York, and we got on a plane. The plane was actually a JetBlue plane this time around. And so before we got on the plane in JFK, we got some food. I ended up getting a sandwich that was boar's head. It was like roast beef with mozzarella and grilled onions and horseradish. And Kat ended up getting this Italian sandwich that was like chicken, salami, sun-dried tomatoes, some kind of a sauce. My sandwich was bland as shit. Her sandwich was amazing. So I ate some of her sandwich too because I was so jealous because this sandwich was fucking good. Jumped on JetBlue. and took a flight home. JetBlue has free internet, unlike Delta, but their internet sucks. Their internet's slow as shit, very, very poor quality, and sadly disconnected a ton while I was trying to do our stuff on the way home. The flight home was terrible. There was turbulence, and there was a baby crying the entire fucking time. And the flight back to Seattle was much longer. It was a 7-hour flight, and it was a nightmare. It was one of the worst flights I've ever been on because the baby wouldn't shut the fuck up, and it was just cramped as shit. We didn't get our own section on the plane back. We had to be in a row, so I was crammed, and it was not a pleasant flight back. It was a lot of annoyance. And basically, finally, when we got back off the plane, we got a taxi cab from the airport in Seattle back to our place. $37. And I was like, wait, what? The taxi that I took from my place to the airport was $30. Why is this one $37? $37 for a 15-minute fucking taxi ride. So we come home, we look, and there's a stack of mail, ginormous, like this high stack of mail on our countertop because Kat's friend have been checking our mail every day. As I told you, we get so much junk mail from detractors who signed us up for stuff that our mail is full every day. So we had like 5 to 6 mailboxes full of mail, our whole counter covered in junk mail, okay? So we're looking around the house. Everything looks good. Everything looks fine. Everything, it turned out well. Nothing happened. You know, the place didn't burn down. This is good. So I said, all right, so we're grabbing, we had trash and stuff on. We take the trash. I go into the garage. I open the trash can, put it in. I turn and look at the car. The car has a fucking flat tire. And I don't mean the tire's low. The tire's flat. It has no air in it at all. What? We didn't even drive. How the fuck did this cat had not worked since the Thursday before our trip? No, excuse me. The Friday before our trip. So that was April 5th. How the fuck did the car tire get flat? So the thing was, we were very hungry. I was actually I was about to leave to get us like just fast food quick. So I had to fucking get an automatic tire pump. You plug it into the car's lighter. I pump the tire up. I go get us food. I come back. I test it. Half the air of the tire's out again. So this thing must have a serious fucking leak. So I'm not going to give you guys the full story of ins and outs of one day this week, I may have to get this tire fixed because the bottom line is I don't know what's up with this leak. It's not as bad as at first I thought it was, because yesterday we went out for the day to restock the house and do all these things we needed to do now that we're back for the trip. And when we came back home, it wasn't low again. And I'm like, how could it have lost all of its air while we were gone and then lose air again when I went to get food Friday night, but then we were out all day Saturday and it lost no air? It doesn't even make any fucking sense. I don't understand this. I don't know. So anyway, that's the deal. That was the trip. All questions answered, guys. Literally, I think I've covered everything now. Everything you've heard from the assholes who talk shit about me and say I'm a scammer is complete lies. None of it's true whatsoever. Everything during this trip was paid for by my parents, including they made up the rest of the money that was needed to get me on this payment plan for the back taxes. And basically moving forward, I am going to keep working my butt off for you guys. We're going to keep doing fun streams every day and being positive and fun and happy. And my plan is to make life changes behind the scenes that will not affect any of you. You're not going to care what I'm paying or what I'm not paying behind the scenes. But basically, I'm staying in this house no matter what. This is the thing that gets paid no matter what. But everything else is going to go to hell. My credit's going to get ruined. There's nothing I can do about it. And hopefully the long-term plan is I can pay down the things that I do owe that I can't get out of my name. Like the house, when it's foreclosed on, that's not my problem anymore. But credit cards and stuff, they're not going to just go away. So hopefully, I can pay off enough and pay it down enough that eventually I can get another job. All right? And not to say that I'm going to quit streaming. I'm not, but maybe balance another job with this long term. Again, this is 5-10 years down the road more than likely because my credit is going to be ruined and I have to pay things down over time. But that's kind of the long-term plan. Is I realize now I want to do this as long as I can, but I can't do it forever. My mom's right. She's looking at me. She's like, you're so stressed. Your life is fucked. You should be going out on, you can't even go on a honeymoon that I want to pay for you to go on with your new wife because of the life that you're in. So you got to get out of it. And she's right. Okay? Let's do some shout outs. Let's see here. Okay. So Fire 7672 subscribed for 2 months. Thank you, Fire. Hickany cheered and subscribed for 7 months. Says great job. Best wishes. Use the hate to fuel yourself to keep pushing yourself. And Cat. Bentboxer tipped $1. Does the cat wear turtlenecks? No, she doesn't. It's a stupid question. Shadow King subscribed for 15 months. Thank you, Shadow King. Xbox One is garbage. Tipped $1 and says, Phil, my withdrawals are at an end. A lot happened to me while you were away. I got fired, got arrested. Then I got a great job building docks, making $1,000 a week. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, then. Sounds good. That's a big improvement. Tommy Provolone did 100-bit cheer. Excuse me. He says, your wedding sounds like my friend Anthony Baloney's wedding with Hannah Prosciutto. He's now naming meats. We have so many authentic Italian foods and a marathon of the Jersey Shore. It's a joke. T-Dub subscribed for 7 months. He says, I find it funny. These people who probably have never been married know how much it costs to get married. I legit had a small wedding for like less than $200. Yeah, the one necessary expense to get married is the marriage license, which costs $50. Everything else, like Justice of the Peace, could be free, but of course you're expected to kind of give them a little something. You don't need a venue. You don't need anything. The band, you could have your wedding band could be passed down through the family. I easily could have, gotten something for my dad. It's all bullshit. It was so hilarious when I posted up that we were married. You see, Phil scammed his fans for that tax money because it cost at least $2,000 for a wedding. So that's what Phil did. And I just hope after now that I've done this podcast and now I feel better, I got everything off my chest. I told you guys the full story of everything. I certainly hope that you guys understand the full situation and that some of you will be like, okay, makes sense. And not that you jump off, you drink the Kool-Aid and you jump off the cliff with the rest of these fucking lemmings who are losing their fucking minds over nonsense. It's just insanity. It's absolute fucking insanity, the things that they believe, that they're that dumb. They're that gullible that they would believe this crazy shit. The bottom line is, if you believe it, it's because you want to. Because there's no evidence to the contrary, because I just told you the 100% truth. Since there can't be evidence to the contrary, you just believe what you want with no evidence. Blind faith craziness. And I cannot win you over. I never will. Because that's insanity, and insanity is for sheep. Okay. Xbox One is garbage. Subscribed. Said, did you jump in the pen to get a better view of the Tigers? No, I don't think they would have allowed that or liked that very much. Omnipotent, Mr. Dr. Profuzzi cheered. He says, would you now you consider yourself the most authentic of Italians? No. Even though cuisine is authentic for me like nothing else is. J-Dog 2009 did a 300-bit cheer. He says, I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way. I'm glad your mom helped you understand you need an exit strategy from streaming. While I enjoy your content, I look forward to the day you can step away from full-time streaming and enter the next stage of your career path. I agree with you. And really, in reality, it'll be the next stage of my life, where I can spend more time with Kat and do that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Frogs playing golf cheered. He says the house is saved. Scrupula resub for 5 months. He says good luck in the future. Here's hoping this helps a bit. Thank you, Scrupula. Nothing but a fan. Resubscribe for 2 months. Said nice. Big Hulk Hogan balls. Tip me $2. Says I'll watch you till you're 100. That's a promise. Here for you, DLSP. Also, are you scared or nervous of getting older? I am, and I'm almost 28 in a couple of days. Sure, we all are. I'll be honest with you guys. The last few years, I've noticed a few changes and things with my body. And you get a little scared about that shit. But then you find out, you look into it, and you're like, it's perfectly natural. When you get older, things happen. So you don't freak out. And, that's life. You get older. June Wynn subscribed for 19 months. Thank you, June Wynn. Ren Jesse James cheered. He says, if you need a new tire and you have time to wait, order it from Discount Wheel Warehouse. The sizes of your current tire, it's generally much cheaper than anywhere else. Well, what I'm going to do is talk to my dad, who used to be a car mechanic, and see what he has to say about it today. And if it comes down to it, and I got to get it repaired, Sucks, but it's life, right? I'll find a way to pay for it. And if I got to get a new tire, I got to get a new tire. The thing is, Kat works a lot, and she drives. We have to have a reliable car. So, I think it's just going to have to happen. Let's see here. Shadow King took me $5. He says, congratulations to you and Cat Phil. Keep doing what you do, my man. Thank you, Shadow King. Big Boy Abides Studios says, I've just arrived. I'm glad you're making positive and hard choices. We all have to do this in life at some point. FYI, it sounds like you have a very, very good and caring mother, possibly the most valuable thing. Congrats on the wedding. Thank you very much. Big Boy Abides Studios again. He said, even if you end up with a non-streaming job, you still do this at least part-time if you have a fan base, just to blow off stress at night. As I just said, I think I just answered that. Yeah, I don't ever want to give this up. I love it. I love the interactions with you guys. I know you guys care about me. I care about you. We have fun on a daily basis. I love this. I love having a following. I just love the fact that people care about me enough that they want to attend streams of mine. So I wouldn't give it up. If I would still do it as a hobby every once in a while. Certainly wouldn't be as anywhere near as often as I do it now, but yes. Cactus God tipped me $1. He says, please start the story over from the beginning. I missed it. All right. So here's the deal, guys. As you know, no, I'm not going to do that. Hodor Targ just cheered. He says, who are your groomsmen and best man at the wedding? Please tell me you invited or met at least with Rambo or Howie. It's not worth it to hold on to grudges that long. There was no one. I had no one and Kat had no one. There was no wedding party at all. It was just a few attendees, as I said. And no, I didn't talk to either of them. A lot of people are like, were you going to see Rambo in Connecticut? Rambo doesn't live in Connecticut. Rambo didn't live in Connecticut. People don't even know that. He used to drive like 90 minutes to come play games with me. He doesn't live in Connecticut. How would I have seen him? No, I told you guys. If those guys had any actual interest in talking with me, they would have, 3+ years ago when I was trying to talk to them and they were ignoring my texts constantly and then made a nasty video about me. We're not going to talk about John and Rambo again or ever again because that's a part of my past. That's 3.5 years in the past. I've moved on and this is the present and you got to deal with that. I know you like to reminisce about the past and you dwell on it, but we all move on and things have changed dramatically since then, and that's that, period. Timbo Slice just cheered. He says, lol at trolls, like OMG, you must be lying. Your parents paid for nothing. Don't they know most people's parents pay for weddings? Everyone knows it goes that way. A lot of people's parents do pay for their weddings. It's true. Big Boy Abides cheered. He says, when I was in a foreign country with friends, we went to the zoo and my friend pissed behind a tree. The staff found out and they chased him. Some other idiots from my school got drunk and tried to climb into the leopard area and over the fence. Good Lord. Then he cheered again. He said, a lot of people watch your streams to de-stress and escape. I think this video will motivate others as well. My father got married in a courtroom. These big parties are usually extremely shallow. You didn't miss much. I've been to many. I've been to 2 big weddings in my life. And although they were nice, and man, maybe one day I would like to do that. I know I can't. Some people are lucky. Some people have big families who are rich and can do that kind of shit. I don't. I was just happy to have what I had. It's like I told you guys. All I want is to keep what I got. I love this house. I love my wife. I love my job. That's what I want to do. I just want to keep what I got. I'm not looking to get anything else above what I have. I love this. I just want to keep this going. Would it be nice to not work as less and de-stress and have to worry about money and shit all the time? Yes. But I love what I got. I'm not one of these people who, oh man, I want to make more money so I can get better clothes and get rich, expensive things and drive a fucking fancy car and I don't want any of that. I love the little conservative shit that I've got and I just want to keep it. Okay? Jackalese just tipped me $15 and says, hearts and best wishes out to you, man. Good luck and congratulations. Thank you very much, Jackalese. And Timbo Slice just cheered. He says, what is your favorite airline? I would say JetBlue. I would absolutely say JetBlue because they are the most comfy flights there are. But at the same time, modern flights, none of them are fun anymore. They're just very uncomfortable and cramped and I was happy that the flights went down well. The flight back sucked because of the baby. Not because of the flight, the baby when you shut the fuck up. Yelling for 7 fucking hours straight. But I would say JetBlue. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm shot. My throat is shot. I've been talking for over 4 straight hours because I had to pre-stream. We're going to end the show here. Here's the deal. I know some of you had wanted to do Q&A. I'm doing a second stream tonight. Guess what it is? It's Black Ops 4 Blackout. There's an insane amount of time for Q&A during that. So I'm going to end the stream here. I want to say thank you to everyone who contributed very much. Thank you for your support. Thanks to everyone who listened. Thanks to everyone who, will actually believe me. Continue to watch my content. And, hopefully this at least assuaded some people's fears. And, again, to the people who were just nasty as fuck to myself and Kat all week, fuck you. You're immoral people who are never going to get ahead in life because you're disgusting, vile, toxic individuals. But on the flip side of that, Thank you so much to everyone who was so nice and gracious and beautiful to us. People who remembered that I exist, even though I was gone for a week. And now we get back into the normal swing of things. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this very special podcast. And if you want Q&A, tonight my second stream will be Black Ops 4 Blackout, and that's what that'll be for. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Peace out. I'll see you later tonight for that. And that's it. Later, everybody.